when I walk into some of these companies who I have the highest regard for, and I don't see, an African American executive. I don't see an African American vice president. I don't even see, an African American secretary.
Yeah.
I know, people have these new diversity initiatives to address it, but I've been very disappointed in the lack of, the lack of color that I see in some of these spaces. And if we want to become a global city that can compete with Seattle and can compete with Japan and can compete with Chicago, then we're going to need to abandon some of our old insular ways and really embrace people coming from other spaces and places.
Well, and that has to be an intentionality now, because I think there's two types of systemic problems. One is people who don't see a problem. That's obviously a problem. There's other people who, and because they don't see a problem, they never get around to creating intentionality behind the people and the faces and the talent that they hire to further their organizations. So there's certain industries that are very white-centric. There's but they don't need to be. Like you said, the talent's on the sidelines waiting for the opportunity. And it takes these business leaders, these entrepreneurs, these VPs, these presidents, whatever the ownership structure and management structure looks like, it takes intentionality to change the profile of a company and who's getting opportunities. So until they recognize opportunity, the opportunity in front of them, it won't change.
Absolutely. And that's why we have to make the argument that it's not just a charitable thing that you're doing by helping your company to become more diverse.
Right.
It's there's a value proposition for your business.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have to articulate, hey, you're going to continue to lose top talent to another company where that Indian guy feels more comfortable and more represented.
Yeah.
And so those are things that we really need to look at because we have companies that are growing faster than the talent that we can kind of put into the pipeline here, and then we're underinvesting in the talent that is here that can be working in these companies.
Yeah,
it's kind of like why we AJ Hills IV and I created the Midwest Tech Project, right? We wanted to create that tech talent pipeline so that we could get kids interested in coding, which is in new manufacturing, get them interested in artificial intelligence and automation, all these things that are going to kind of, dictate the economy moving forward.
Yeah.
And so we know we needed to be intentional to make those connections. And, Carl Erickson over there at Atomic Object has been a great partner for us. Meredith Bronk over at OST has been a great partner for us.
Those are two really powerful. We should pause on them because I think Carl has always been very progressive, even when he was a younger company coming up. And OST seems to have not only they're tremendously successful, but they've seem to be especially community-minded and continually on a path of improvement.
And the fact they have a female CEO, I mean, that in and out of itself in the tech industry is an anomaly, but it needs to become standardized, right? We shouldn't be shocked and wide-eyed when we see Meredith, who's one of the smartest people in West Michigan, do her thing.
This Full Exposure podcast episode has been made possible through the support of Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and Dr. Peter Hahn, who believe that creativity and the arts are essential to a rich, healthy, and fulfilling life.